Okay, it's Tuesday night. It's like 10 o'clock, 10:30,
Something like that.
something like that. We last touched base with you after going from Honduras to Palenque in a single day, feeling quite good about ourselves. uh, we had passed into, as you remember, Mexico through a non-border in Guatemala, and were waved through by the Mexican military without a passport stamp, without bike registration, without any such thing, and opted that we were just going to continue on. That we felt a mea culpa at the northern border would be sufficient to get us through. We were wrong. So the following day, which would have been Monday, Joe had the bright idea, which I appreciate, of actually backtracking and going to El Cebo to try to get our passport stamped and our registration, all that stuff, to actually get it figured out and done the right way.
A 2.5-hour trip.
A 2.5-hour trip south back to the Guatemalan border, which Joe enjoyed because he got to take another dirt road, which we'd already been on once on our way down. And we got to the border, and as the forums had told us, and as everything had shown, it was actually really easy to get across to Guatemala, to get our passport stamped. While we were there, we parked on the Mexican side. Great little parking area there. Just walked right over. Came back to the Mexican side. Got our passport stamped very easily there. And thought maybe that would be it, because our bikes were already in Mexico. We were ready to go.
Nope.
No. We decided we should probably register the bikes also. Although the problem was that the individual who did the bike registration wasn't there on Monday. So we were told we would have to come back on Tuesday. We decided that we weren't going to do that. We were just going to go. So we started riding to Villahermosa.
Yep.
And somewhere north of Tenosique and Emilio Zapata, Emilian Zapata, whatever. There's an agricultural stop where they apparently check everything fairly hard. It's a breeze when you're going south, not so much when you're going north. We got stopped there also and asked for our registration. When we told him we didn't have our registration, he turned us around.
Sent us back to
El Cebo. So we stayed. Where did we stay last night? We stayed in Tenosique last night at Hotel Centro. Great gentleman out on the street waved us in. Didn't seem to know anything that we were saying, and we didn't know anything he was saying. But he set us up with a room 3. It was rough living for last night.
A bit of prison cell.
It was a little bit of prison cell. Then we got up this morning and rode back to the Guatemalan border that we've now been to 3 times in the last 3 days. And we got our registration done without fail. We are still without insurance, which is really only a problem if you're on a Mexican roadway. Because if you're not, you'll be fine. But the Mexican roadways tend to be a little dodgy.
Yes.
So we have a day or 2 still left in Mexico, without insurance, and we're just being very, very safe. Not that I think this is the right way to do it or the preferred way to do it, and I understand that there's going to be a lot of people that think that this is a terrible idea and that we're awful and shouldn't be putting this out. But I'm telling you, it can be done. It's not the right way to do it. If insurance was a little bit easier to get, or had it been there at the registration, we would have gotten it. So we're just sort of flying by the seat of our pants now. Okay, that should bring you relatively close to up to date. We today got our registration at El Cebo and then hauled all the way up to
Veracruz.
To Veracruz. We are in Veracruz. Gorgeous. Gorgeous town.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Great city. Vibrant people everywhere. Feels more Western than I think a lot of other places, in the sense that like there's a lot of familiar touches here, whether it be like the restaurants, the clothing. There's not burros pulling carts of families around the streets
it's
here.
It's a big city too.
It's a big city.
Yeah,
it's a big city.
It's not Villa.
There's people out jogging, which you don't see in a lot of other areas south of here. So, favorite thing about yesterday, least favorite thing about yesterday, and then we'll go to your favorite things because we missed yesterday. So you got to do yesterday first, and then we'll move on.
Yesterday was our trip from Palenque to Tennessee, basically, in a roundabout way. Best thing about yesterday, just getting on the dirt road again. That was a lot of fun. Couple of moments on that where I think you saw the back end of my bike and the front tire, but it wasn't aligned properly in the air.
Did quite a bit of bouncing.
The worst part, just the frustration of having to go back to the border, and then even more frustrating to get down there and they not be ready with us. We tried to make it, and then to get turned around and go all the way back to the border to basically travel a whole lot of distance for no result.
For no reason. We could have yesterday woken up in Palenque and spent the whole day in the pools at the resort, having drinks at the resort, eating pretty well at the resort, and been no worse off than what we were by doing an enormous amount of mileage instead. Although I probably wouldn't have gotten to her nearly the same amount on my audiobook.
That's true.
Which I did that. That's my positive. Okay, so that was your worst part. The best part was the
dirt road.
Dirt road. I'm gonna try and do my best and worst yesterday. I would say that yesterday, almost all of yesterday was my worst part. I broke yesterday. My attitude definitely faltered pretty bad. I said that I would never come back to Mexico again, which
meltdown.
was a mini meltdown. I feel bad about it now because it's not their fault. It was bad timing. I wish that we would have recognized that he wasn't going to be there at some point.
And for the record, he apparently is never there on Mondays.
Oh, so he's never there.
That station is not open on
Okay.
Mondays. Yeah.
Good pro tip. El Sabo, registration, Mondays, you're not getting it.
No.
You'll have to be there Tuesday or Sunday,
Yep.
I presume. Best part of yesterday. Shoot. It wasn't the best part when I was doing it, but I'm glad that we got to see Tennessee. Like, I feel like that was a valuable experience. It was the roughest neighborhood I feel like that we stayed in so far. I felt that was...
But Tennessee is an old Mayan city that has been occupied consistently
since 1000 BC.
Yep.
Yep.
And you kind of feel it when you walk around.
Boomtown.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Okay, so now, that was yesterday. Today. Best part about today, worst part about today, goal for tomorrow.
Worst part about today was to go through all that effort to try to be prepared with all the copies that we could ever need at a border station, to have the guy look at us and say, hey, you need a copy of this. Something that you could have never have been prepared for because they give it to you at the immigration station.
Yep.
And you still have to walk your ass back into Guatemala. To go get copies. That was the worst part. I didn't, but I was pretty close to losing it in that particular case.
I saw a level of frustration in Joseph that moment that I had yet to see.
Best part, probably our arrival in Villahermosa. It was just basically a long slog.
In Veracruz.
Veracruz.
Because we blew right past Villahermosa, which I was really a little sad about.
But it's not really the best part. Just after a long day of riding, it's nice to get into a DoubleTree and to stay in someplace that's comfortable.
Yeah, that has cookies.
Yeah, which weren't the best though. That was
right.
At this moment.
Of course. Goal for tomorrow.
I don't know. Make it at least to Tampico, if not past it.
Okay.
And then we're still talking about, what our true goals are for tomorrow, so we'll
Right.
have to figure it out.
Right. Okay. My favorite part of today, I think it was, and I can't remember. Oh, it was the ag stop. It was at the agricultural stop where we got shut down yesterday, and the dark cloud like just appeared over my head, and I realized that we had to turn around, and like our whole day was a waste. Today, when they gave me back my paperwork and said carry on, I was like, I'm free. Like, it was progress, and it felt so good. Worst part of today, I think that walk into Guatemala was kind of rough. I mean, we got lucky that it was early. It was relatively cool.
It wasn't hard.
Yeah, it wasn't difficult. I mean, it was a bit of a kick to the nuts, but
it wasn't the walk itself, and it wasn't.
Right.
I mean, the guy at the coffee place is awesome. I mean, you've
Right.
seen us for the second
Right.
time now.
Right.
But just the fact that we had done so much for preparation to have that guy look at us and say, "Well, here, you need to get a copy of this." That was the kick in the nuts.
We are drinking Fanta an awful lot these days to perk up spirits.
We're gonna have to wean off Fanta.
Goal for tomorrow, I would say likewise. Like, I think Tampico is a reasonable goal. I think going beyond Tampico is reasonable. We seem to be doing good time. The audiobook helps out a ton. I'm getting more music, which helps out a ton. We showered, which makes me feel a billion times better. I feel like I'm going to be rejuvenated and refreshed tomorrow in a way that I haven't been in a while. And I thank the DoubleTree for that. And I'm going to grab a couple cookies for tomorrow, because even though they're bad, they're better than that nasty Dorito stuff that I had this morning. So we'll consider that a winner's breakfast. All right, that was a really long one. Do you have anything else to add? Any pro tips? Anything that you've learned on your dirt roads and your multiple Guatemalan border experiences?
I mean, dirt roads are just fun. I mean, the one thing I will say is that, if you're out there, I mean, the topas are definitely a cause for frustration. I think yesterday, because of the long slog that we were doing, we were getting frustrated. That was, I think it was yesterday. That was the.
Yep. My bag flipped on me twice.
Yeah. Be prepared when you're driving. And I will say too that we've done some night traveling now. I would say enough to say that we've done some serious night traveling, not just into the twilight hours, but both in actually it's all been both in Guatemala and Mexico,
and even Honduras to some extent, because we went to Villa Helens pretty late at night.
And not to say that it's not out there, but we haven't run into any problems with anything except for it's tough to see out there and you just don't know when things are in the way. Coming back to Palenque at night, I did notice one thing that everybody needs to be aware of is that on one side of the road, a tree had fallen into the road.
I did see that, and they cut it out.
You couldn't see it.
Right.
Yet oncoming traffic was going inexplicably, because you couldn't see it, into our lane as we were coming. It was very hard to see. And then when you get there, you can see that they're doing it because there was a full tree in their side of the road.
Yeah.
So that's one of the dangers that I think is out there, the obstacles and things like that on the road at night.
People walking in dark clothing, essentially
absolutely.
In the road.
Yeah, but as far as banditos and all that stuff, I haven't really felt any of that.
Right.
That stuff.
Right.
And,
we got stopped by the military again today.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, cops today. It was cops. I think it was cops. They were all in blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got stopped by cops again today. No problems. Felt totally good. I get the impression more than anything that it's just really a curiosity. It's almost a formality that they must go through, and then it turns just into curiosity. They all seem to be really good guys. Most of them shake our hands.
Yeah.
They greet us warmly.
They like the bikes.
They peer in a couple bags here and there. They kind of point at stuff and ask a couple of questions, but nothing that has ever given me any sort of tingle in my spine or in my stomach. And it's been pretty awesome, to the point where at least 3 or 4 of the times I've wanted to take a picture and just haven't gotten enough guts to do it, because they are still holding weapons.
Automatic weapons.
Right, automatic weapons slung across their chests. There was one other thing that I thought of, and I totally lost it. it'll come back. Okay, so that's a really long one, but now everybody's up to date, and we are gonna grab some sleep so that we can have a fresh look on tomorrow, and perhaps some more Fanta in the morning. See you guys.